What up, yo? What up, empaths? Not today, doing a little walk in the neighborhood. And I wanted to talk to you, do something different, you know? What about the narcissist? I wanted to talk to you about the mask, the narcissist mask. They are so loyal to the mask. Why? A lot of times we think they love themselves so much because they think they're gods, right? Or God mentality. We're just objects, toasters. Toasters. Hello, all the toasters out there. I'm a toaster, you're a toaster. We're all toasters, according to the narcissist. It's funny. I try to joke around a little because this stuff is really difficult to deal with. And if I can crack a smile out of you, then so be it. You need it. They're loyal to the mask, and a lot of people think that they love themselves so much, but they're not. They're completely miserable. And they're miserable because they're so fake, but they're miserable and they're loyal to the mask because they don't love themselves. They hate themselves. What they fall in love with, what they love is the supply. But what is the supply? Supply is, it's like when you look at the story of Narcissist. Narcissist, he fell in love with that, seeing himself in the water. You know, that old Greek story. Well, what was that? That was a mirror of him. He didn't love himself either. He loved what he saw or what he envisioned he was, or what he's being told. They don't love themselves. They love the mask. They love all the validation. They love the image. They feel like they are receiving all of the validation. They don't love themselves. They love that fake, false self. So don't get it twisted. They don't even care about themselves, and you act fake. You're behind the fakeness, right? The original, authentic you is behind there. And when you act fake, you don't do yourself justice. You do yourself an injustice. And again, anything fake is fantasy. Fantasy is not only a lie, but is the biggest pathway of deception that the enemy will use in divisive techniques in your life that will bring you down. Because if you think about it, fantasy also comes from drugs and alcohol and watching fluid stuff. That's not reality. So you gotta watch that stuff, you know. They also like to get you to react a lot, and you wonder what's going on there, or why do they like negative supply? I think that's a tough one for a lot of people, the negative supply. Why can't you just give them a bunch of positive supply and they'll be good? If you just told them they were awesome every day all the time, why couldn't that take care of it? Well, because they are always devising, cheating, manipulating, and doing all these things behind your back, and they have to regulate that. They can only regulate it by rationalizing you're the problem. That's why good positive supply doesn't work. That's why you would think, usually early on when you find out about narcissism, you kind of rationalize the fact that somehow I'm going to find a way to make it work, right? A lot of empaths do that. So you try to devise a way, how can you keep the narcissist at bay and still keep a relationship together? But you can't. And this is one way, because some empaths will be like, well, I'll just love them and give them so much good supply, and that'll take care of it. But not only are they an empty hole that never is filled, in fact, that hole continues to get larger. If you give them $1 million, they're going to need $1 billion. What happens? They need the negative supply because they're devising all these tricks and manipulations, cheating, lying, stealing, doing all these things behind your back. They have to regulate it. So if they could throw it on you, that's where I always say it's like you forgave their sins, you know, I would say, because you kind of feel like that in a sense. They get a big relief when they are able to get you to react and they throw it on you, unbeknownst to you, and then they walk away with your good energy. But at the end of the day, they have to do that stuff because it gives them their rationalization. It helps them to process the fact that now they can blame it on you. When they're able to project onto you, to get you to react when you say, oh, you're cheating on me. And they're like, no, I'm not. You're cheating on me, or whatever. when they start a argument with you, when they need negative supply, they'll continue to poke that bear and poke it and poke it and poke it until they can get you to react real good. Generally speaking, when you're unawoke. And that's why they do it. They do it because they get you to react. They just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And then when you finally get like, man, and you guys start, I've done everything. First of all, the energy switch takes place. Then you feel weak, winded, like you're emaciated. But also, then they feel like, you know what? They're mistreating me. And then they're convinced they didn't do it anymore. You did it. Or whatever. You know, they have a way of, when they want to believe something, that construct in their mind believes it. Remember I told you they could pass a lie detector test. We can't. Because we can't believe a lie. They can. When they want to hoover you, and that's why they can always get you to come back over and over and over again. Because a lot of times, they come to you and they're crying, or, well, I don't think they can cry. They look like they're about to cry, or, you know, they'll be acting like they're crying, but no tears come out. They'll be saying these things and how they change or whatever. A lot of times you would take them back because they look like they believe it. So you believe it. But, you know, in their construct also, they do whatever it takes to get the job done. Because they're not running the ship in there. Something animalistic is their survival mode, whatever you want to call it. There's at least 2 or more things in there, right? Them, and there's at least something else in there, if not more than 2 things. And that other thing takes over. And when we're in survival mode, if you're running for your life, the last thing you're going to think of is having to pee or something, man. Your kidneys will shut down for a period of time so that you can get the heck out of there and you can concentrate on doing what you got to do to break free from whatever that issue is that's making you unsafe. And then later on, it will relax, and when that flight stops, you'll be able to go back to normal and go to the restroom, whatever you got to do. But when they're trying to hoover you, see, they're in that mode. It's that bad for them. So it's life or death. If they can't get your supply and they need it, if you're the only one or you're the main one, or they've deemed, and their construct has deemed to them that you got to be hoovered. That's the thing, that construct in them. Wonder why they can do things so well sometimes and manipulate so well. But if you listen to people that are narcissists or read up on it, the narcissist has an inner voice, an inner construct. And that inner voice, that inner construct tells them what to do. It directs them. It tells them this person's not ready to be hoovered yet because of the way they're acting. So then the narcissist will keep it moving. And then that construct will have them stalk you later and see if that's changed. But if it hasn't changed, that construct's going to tell them, hey, no, we got to wait a little longer, because if you try to hoover them now, you're going to get a narcissist injury when they turn you down. So it's not worth it. So they'll keep it moving. It'll tell them exactly what to do. It's like an instinct, but their instincts are different than ours. I believe we have intuition and they have something else. And it's not like intuition. Intuition is goodness. And whatever their construct is and talks to them is evil by nature. That's kind of how that works. And then a lot of times they get you to fight yourself, which is to split from your intuition will tell you something, one thing, okay, and then your mind will tell you another. And so they try to get control of your mind and your emotions, and then it will shut down the intuition, especially if you never honed it because of the way that you were brought up. Once you hone it, you can't really shut it down, which is a good thing. Keep that in mind. But what happens, they get you fighting yourself by your mind fighting against your intuition. Your intuition's telling you, no, I don't think this is a good idea. This guy's like, or this lady, or this guy, or whatever, whatever the narcissist, whatever, they're not good for you. I'm trying to tell you, if you just damn it, listen to me. And then your mind will be like taking over, saying, I got this, or rationalizing it. Well, they look like they're acting contrite. They look like they're acting like they've changed. They look like they really mean it. Your flesh is also telling you. And at the same time, you might be lonely. I'm lonely, man. What are you waiting on? Take the narcissist back. I need another hit. I need to feel good again. And then once in the unloving arms of the narcissist again, shortly thereafter, you're back to getting devalued. You're back to getting discarded. You're back to that sunken place. And when you continually do these rotations of these cycles, they end up, you know, when you do something over and over, it becomes a habit. Habits are formed, and you don't want to form habits that have anything to do with the narcissist, because that's how you become, you're not going to become a narcissist, but that's how you become narcissistic. And you don't want that. You don't want any of that, because it's all evil. It's not good for your soul. It's not food for your soul. At the end of the day, you're here to save your soul and to help others save theirs. Well, don't help them, but be a light to others. You can't save anybody, but you can. I read Matthew 5 today. You can let your light shine so that others can see it. You know what it said in Matthew that I read today? It said, well, do I want to light the candle and put it under a bushel? Well, no. I don't light a candle and cover it up, but I light a candle and I put it on a candlestick so I can light up the whole room. So you want to be the best light you can be and protect yourself from being taken advantage of. So you got to love yourself, have good boundaries. Sorry, it's a loud car. And then you want to shine your light as best you can, right? But you don't just give it away. It's kind of like you give it to people who deserve it. People who put in work with you. People who love you, truly. People that are there for you. People you can build relationships with, good ones. And surrounding individuals that will help you in time of need, but also won't let you stay isolated. So if these things come up in the future, instead of you being home all alone, isolated already with no one to help you, you'll have good individuals, a good support system that you've been building ever since your break with the narc. So you'll have people to reach out to, and you'll have your own life doing other things, and never let people change you. Try to influence that change in you. That's why even shining your light, you can, what does it say? It says a city on a hill that's lit. It's not hidden, it's out there. But the thing is being a good, wholesome individual means that you don't push yourself on nobody. You shine that light, but you don't let nobody control that light. You don't let nobody discourage that light. And if they're not feeding your flame, then get rid of them. That's all I got for today. Listen to your intuition. And if you do that, you don't have to be frightened out there about who you're dealing with anymore. Because your intuition, your inner man, your inner person, your inner spirit will tell you. Okay? Give me a like, a thumbs up, a subscription. I love y'all. Stand tall. Peace out. Soldier up all the time. Stay vigilant. For life ain't over. It's just begun. Peace.